Kenya, like Barbados, is highly independent-minded, and I shared with President Kenyatta those words uttered by our first Prime Minister at the United Nations, that our nation shall be friends of all and satellites of none, words that mean even more today than they did at the time of their utterance, particularly in the transition of the world that we see and the battles that are taking place across the globe as we speak today. And that Kenya, like Barbados, is not a massive country, but is one that within the context of their region and Barbados within our region, I like to think that we both punch above our weight. And to that extent, therefore, we understand that our obligations are not only limited to the people within our boundaries, but to the region and the neighborhood in which we live. We also discussed the opportunities with Blue Economy. We discussed the opportunities for trade and investment in areas of marine tourism. Kenya, like Barbados, has a heavy reliance on tourism as well. We're both mature tourism destinations, and we believe that their partnerships in training, in product development, and also in investment. Traditionally, Barbadians do not invest in Africa in tourism. Traditionally, Africans do not invest in the Caribbean in tourism. But there's absolutely no reason for it not to happen. And we believe that that investment shouldn't only be at the level of large investors or wealthy investors, but if we can create the opportunities. Kenya has led the world in financial inclusion with their work in digital money. And if we can work as well to create new financial instruments, Barbados has led the region with respect to the development of our credit union sector and financial inclusion there. And if we can leapfrog into a digital framework, and if we can at the same time create the instruments for the export of capital, for investment in renewable energy in Kenya, investment in industry in Kenya, investment in industry in tourism, and for Kenyans equally to invest back into Barbados in the areas of the traditional economy such as tourism, but also in the new economy in renewable energy and medical cannabis, then I believe that we will have a platform that will benefit all of us. Barbados has a large network of treaties, double taxation agreements, and bilateral investment treaties, and we recognize, as we always have, that we will never be able to host mass-based manufacturing or industry. But Kenya does have that capacity. And indeed, in a world where trade wars are abounding, the opportunities, and with the establishment of the Continental Free Trade Agreement in Africa, the opportunities for Kenya to be able to expand its production capacity and its industrial base are significant. But we can add value by being that location from which the returns on investment can even be greater because of the domiciling of the enterprises in Barbados, and be able to reduce their level of taxation while affording still the level of protection in terms of investment. We have common diasporic persons in Canada who have already understood that, but we believe that we can significantly expand it in areas of mutual interest, in areas of pharmaceuticals, in areas of renewable energy, in areas of the replacement of materials for single-use plastics, which all of us are banning because of the negative implications for the environment. And of course, Kenya is the location on this earth where the United Nations Environmental Programme is located, and therefore, and headquartered, and therefore our continued commitment to sustainable development and to making the environment within which we live a better environment is foremost in our mind while we look for opportunities for good business. And we feel that that partnership is there. We recognize that the opportunities for intra-ACP trade are critical. We were reminded this morning that the intra-ACP trade is lower than 20%, while intra-EU trade is in the vicinity of the high 60s, 68, 69%, and in NAFTA almost 50%. So what is it about the Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific countries that have allowed these obstacles to remain, that we do not see the commercial and economic opportunities within the South among ourselves and to use it to drive the prosperity of our populations?